Really good to have you on the show. I know that you've been well publicised in the last couple of days about your concerns regarding furlough and the furlough scroungers. You've had to fire a number of your staff who refused to work on Friday, or go back to work on Friday, and you've basically seen quite a bad attitude from some of your employees. Tell me more.
That's right. Well, basically, when the furlough happened, I think we had approximately about 100 office staff that went on it, and 50 of them fortunately stayed with the business and managed to work it through. And we've gradually brought them back. And you know, when this change in the furlough came about, which is 1st of August, my decision was I'm not happy to pay people to sit at home to do nothing. So we brought as many back as we could. The ones that didn't want to come back or still had sort of very weak excuses, we either made redundant or we got rid of them. Yeah.
Yes. Now, are you worried that perhaps 4 months of being stuck at home, being paid to do nothing, is going to produce a generation of lazy ne'er-do-wells?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, you know, they start to think they're entitled to it. And, you know, if the furlong didn't start making changes, it needs to be scrapped anyhow. But you're just going to have a nation that, you know, are going to be the same as the people that unfortunately abuse benefits. Not all of them, of course. Some people need to be on the benefits, and a lot of people don't need to be on them. And I think you have the same with furlough. They had an opportunity to come back, but, you know, these are the same people that they run out of the office within 5 minutes of being told they're going to get 80% of their wages. The same people that was still going out barbecues and beaches, but according to them, they don't want to come back to work because it's not safe. We put in every possible safe measurement that we had to put in fairly promptly. Social distancing, masks, footwear, sanitisers, completely. And, you know, we have a safe working environment. If people don't come back to work, you're going to have more and more unemployment. You know, we need to come to work. We need to go and buy a coffee, go and buy a beer, go and buy a lunch. We need to get things circulating again. And, you know, it's not going to happen by sitting at home.
What's your reaction to the Labour Party, who have called for an extension to the furlough scheme, arguing that it's ending too soon?
I could say it in one word, but I won't. Yeah, look, it's all very well for them saying it, you know, but they've got to remember that, you know, the taxpayer is going to be continuing paying for this for years. So why would you prolong it? What I think they should do is stop it and then start a new scheme for the ones that have definitely got to be on it, for industries where they can't go back to work, or generally these people have got underlying health issues, or somebody in their house that has got that situation. It needs to be stopped and maybe come up with another scheme. But, you know, it was madness to start with giving people 80% of their money not to come to work. I mean, that can't be right, can it?
No, we've been asking our audience throughout the show, Charlie, about whether coronaphobia is actually bankrupting Britain, that our fear of COVID-19 is greater than the actual threat, given that, of course, tragically, there have been 46,000 fatalities, many of those people in vulnerable groups, older, comorbidities. The vast majority of our 66 million people are able to go to work and probably have been able to go for quite a long time.
You're exactly right there. Look, you know, obviously the people that have died and suffer from the illness is tragic.
Yeah.
But as you said, they're normally of a certain age or certainly sort of health issues. Look, we need to go back to work. I mean, it's as simple as that, really. I mean, if you look, we had 100 people on it, and I think we got 70 people back. 30 people, we've decided not to continue with them. 10 of them have been made redundant.
By the way, did they change, Charlie? I don't like to interrupt you and your words of wisdom, but did they noticeably change in their attitude, sort of compared to how they were pre-lockdown? Like, was it lockdown that actually somehow affected their motivation, or were they always people on their way out of the business, do you think?
Well, not necessarily people on their way out of the business, but they certainly changed because, you know, they felt they had a power to say, I'm not coming to work, government are giving me 80%, you know. And some people that suits. I keep hearing people saying, you know, how can anybody abuse it? It's up to you to make that decision. But you know yourself, if you force people into work and they don't want to be there, you're worse off. So we give them a choice. The government giving you 80% to sit at home, or you come to work and we work through this. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people panicked at the time. 2/3 of them went off on furlough. And, during that time, there were certain members of staff telling other members of staff, oh, I love this furlough. Oh, this is the greatest thing happening. Oh, yeah, great, great, great. So they're not really concerned about the business. All their concern was, I'm getting paid to sit at home and do nothing. And I just think that we need to stop that. We need to stop the culture of people believing that they're entitled to, sit at home and be paid for it. And, if we don't get people back to work, the unemployment is going to be colossal because, we've got to get the money moving around. We've got to go to work and buy a coffee, get on a train. We've got to go in the shop and buy stuff. We've got to, send things circulating around. And I just feel that, that's what we should be concentrating on now, getting people back to work.
Do you think, and I know you are overall a supporter of this government, and we'll get on to Brexit in a second if we've got time, Charlie, but do you feel that perhaps the furlough scheme altogether was an expensive gamble for this government?
Well, you said the right words. I mean, look, I think the government overreacted and forced the issue and telling people they're not got to go to work, you've got to stay at home. And I think they realised they made mistakes on that. And if they hadn't made a mistake, why would they not continue it? They know that if we carry on not getting people into work, the economy is just, it's sort of got a big problem at the moment. But can you imagine it if we continue much more with furlough?
Well, indeed. And Charlie, was it decisive, furlough, in helping your business?
What, to get rid of people?
No, was furlough a help to you in your successful business, Pimlico Plumbers?
No, not really. No, we could have kept people working. We carried on with an emergency service, and we've been doing a lot of work for the NHS and not charging them, which I'm very sort of pleased that we could put something back into it. We could have kept everybody busy, but you had certain people from the department, mainly managers, they didn't want to come in, which meant that department had to close down. So, look, I don't think it's helped our business at all. The good news about it is, I think that we managed to operate very good through it, a great service that we continue to add. And I think all the people that carried on with us, we've rewarded them and looked after them very well since they've been with the company. And, these people have forced the issue. The ones that run out the door, all of a sudden it's made it more difficult to generate more work, etc. But look, it's not me that's got rid of them. It's the situation that's happened, and they don't want to come back to work. I'm talking about here people that don't want to come to work.
Well, of course, yeah, it's an attitude thing.
You ask them nicely to come to work, they don't want to come to work. So what do you do?
Indeed, I said
from day one, I'm not paying people. I have to say it. I'm not paying people to sit at home and do nothing. So as soon as they introduced the employer's got to pay the national insurance and their pension, that's this month. Next month they want you to pay that and 20. I mean, can businesses really do that in the real world?
Definitely not. And we're very lucky to have successful businesses like yours, Charlie, because you employing people and trading and paying your taxes is the only way for us out of what will be an economic crisis that lies ahead. A quick word on Brexit, Charlie. What are your thoughts about the negotiations with the EU? Do you think there will be a deal? Do you even want one?
Well, I think it's important to get a deal. It doesn't look like there's going to be a deal, does it? It's been all this time. Look, I would rather remain, but this is where we are today, and I can work with that and live with that. But I don't think they're going to get a deal from them. And I'd rather much still be in the EU, but that's how it is, and I'm going to go along with that and work with it. But are they going to get a deal? It don't look like it, does it?
No, indeed not. Another headache for businesses going forward, I'm sure. Charlie, thank you so much for your time.